II victims was that those people that had gone through such horror and such grief ended up being the most compassionate and the most wonderful healers, not understanding that the individuality of grief could complicate and delay whatever grief we might experience from our own loss. It could also influence us should we attempt to judge another person's grieving process, because then we might not want to help out. Now, I really want to touch on this because do you remember when 911 happened? And we lost so many people, and it was like the Pearl Harbor of the Pearl Harbors that happened in the modern day. And everybody held each other's hand, and we understood the grieving process that so many people were going through, and people contributed money, and people were so anxious to be able to do anything to reach out to the grieving of others. But somewhere along the way, when islands began to go through hurricanes, and we saw more and more people endure horrible natural circumstances in their life. You know, there's two ways of looking at grieving. There is the anxiety level that we feel that makes us better healers, and then there are those that shut off and become cold. And I feel that 911 kind of sent people in two different ways. It made some people want to do anything and everything they can and contribute their all. And then there are the people that just completely shut off and didn't give a damn. Past experience from childhood on have a great impact on all of us and our ability to handle loss in the present, such as 911. What other losses have we faced in our childhood, adolescence, or adulthood? How frightening were those experiences in our life? Was there good support for us? Were we allowed to express our feeling in a secure environment? Has there been a change or a chance to recover and heal from that early loss in our life? All of that makes a huge difference on how we grieve now. What has our previous mental health history been like? Have we had bouts with depression? Have we harbored suicidal thoughts? Have we experienced a nervous breakdown? Have we been treated with medication or been hospitalized? How has our family cultural influence conditioned us to respond to loss and the emotions of grief? All very, very important. Relationships with the deceased also matter in the circumstance of death. No outsider is able to determine that special bond that connected us with the people we love, regardless of the relationship role they have in our family. Our relationship with the person that has died has a great deal to do with the intensity and duration of our grief. What was that relationship? How dependent are we on them? And how fast are we able to find our independence and learn with wisdom our life trauma? So, you know, all of these things, the ability to be able to feel the intensity of our own and to be compassionate to the wisdom that can be learned through the experience of loving someone with all our heart, as well as our personal development and spiritual pathwork that stems from the wisdom, as those World War II war victims did, to be able to be better healers and people of light. We have looked at the past, at the relationship, and how the loss occurred. And now we see how the influences in the present can impact how we are finally going to come to terms in the current place in our life. Age and sex are important factors. Are we young enough and resilient enough to bounce back? Are we old enough and wise enough to accept the loss and to grow with the experience? Can our life be rebuilt again? What opportunities does that experience offer us in the now? All of these things become part and the way individually that we grieve, and no two people grieve the same way, right? Absolutely. So think on that a little bit and understand also that the most important thing that we can do is understand that probably every one of us will face a death, will face a job loss, will face a breakup, and every single one of those experiences gives us learning and wisdom and hopefully more and more compassion towards others and the ability to use that in a healing way that will make us better people. Joseph says, an angel, please, angel reading, please. Thank you. Absolutely, Joseph. So if I look at a Joseph angel reading today and looking at that, Joseph, your angel reading says today, this is a time to have absolutely no doubt that your gut instincts are incredible. Believe in them. And whatever you do, once you believe in your gut instincts, don't shut down. What does that mean? Well, it sounds to me, Joseph, like your gut instincts have been telling you that you need to motivate yourself to do something that you have been procrastinating on. And it's absolutely important that your angels want you to know to stop doing that. If in any way that you feel that you have been having a dream or an urge or a goal that you truly want to take action on, please understand this is the time to be motivated. Do not let it go. There is a calling for you. And that calling is something that your year's journey, your spiritual path work is leading you towards. And whether your anxieties and whether your grief, if anything in your life, whether it be a job loss or whether it be a relationship loss or whether it be just a funky feeling of overwhelmment, understand without a doubt that your intuition is incredible, that your dreams are speaking to you, and it is now time for you to get motivated on that goal. And that's what comes through on your angel reading today. All right, we are going to take Chris. And Chris says, hello, Chris, how are you today?
Hi, Emery.
Hi, baby
How
boy,
you doing?
what's going on with you?
Fine. Everything good.
Are you anxious for the warm weather?
Yeah, a little bit. Kind of short.
Now, are
So,
are where are you at, Chris? Are you in cold weather or warm weather?
between.
In between?
Mm,
Are you in tornado country or are you in, or does that ever happen in your area?
mm, it's warm. It's kind of cold. It's getting cold down here.
But no, but you don't have tornadoes in your area?
Yeah, I do. Sometimes.
That's the hard part about being in this in where I live. Is I love spring, I love the flowers, but every day I worry about weather, and that's my anxiety. I need to stop worrying about tornadoes, but I have been through a tornado in my area, and then when I was a little girl. Have you ever been through a tornado?
No, ma'am.
No?
But mm,
You're
haven't.
lucky.
Yes, ma'am.
You're a lucky guy, Chris.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I do an angel reading for you, Chris?
That's cool. Yes, ma'am. That's cool.
Okay. So, Chris, I'm going to do an angel reading for you on what comes through for you. And this is what comes through. Your angels are definitely smiling on you, Chris. It says that they're proud of the attention that you have been giving to someone special or to something important in your life. Your angels are saying that you're doing a better job at talking and communicating to people around you. Your angels are saying that because you are working harder at talking and communicating with people around you, you're going to notice that people that you didn't talk to before, or people or opportunities that you had where you're at, are going to be more open-minded with you. If I look at what is the most important thing that happens for you or that comes for you this summer and spring, and the first thing that comes up is, again, an opportunity or a person that you will be talking to is going to become like a best friend or a relationship for you. Your reading says also, don't worry about love, don't worry about friendships, that you are going to find that when you take off your worry like a coat and you put it over there on a chair, a pretend chair, and you just let yourself relax, that you're going to find that your relaxation makes you smile more, makes you kind to the right kind of people that are going to talk to you and are going to be your friends this year. So I feel opportunities or chances for you to meet and know more people, and especially a new friend, is going to be here. And if I look at any one subject, Chris, that you have been worrying about, what is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I guess I'll just take that as, stop worrying about everything, Chris. You're a great guy. I think that when you take off your worry like a coat and you just take it off and you smile and you have a beautiful voice, and I think that that voice is very friendly and very sweet. And I think that when you other people see that sweetness and that friendliness about you and you stop worrying, I think you're going to have a great summer and spring. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have a great day, Chris. Okay?
You have a great day, too. You have a great day, too, Emily.
What's that?
Have a great day.
You
I said
too.
have a great day, too.
Thank you, Chris. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, that's Chris. Okay, so I want to say that uh, anybody that wants a last minute call or a last minute uh, calming reading, because today is calming calls for you in times of your anxiety. I'm going to look at um, a little blog that I wrote, and it's just a little humor for you to end the show with. Remembering that every single one of us grieves differently, to be compassionate and use our anxiety and grief as a way to be able to be wiser and more compassionate towards other people. We cannot judge the way other people grieve because everyone grieves differently. And to remember that we have spoken to people, two different people today, that told us how they handle stress. We talked to Anita, who says that she detaches from the grief and the anxiety, and she makes a list of 3 things for herself to do. I will add to that that if I can't sleep at night, I often get up and write down 3 things that I know that I was afraid I would forget to the next morning when I forgot. And that allows me to be able to feel better and go to sleep faster. Also, remembering what Deb told us today, that the way she deals with stress is to meditate and to be able to just kind of let her anxiety go. And one of the things her reading said today was that that allows her to kind of soften the attitudes of others because she is softening. We saw Chris today, and Chris is supposed to take his anxiety off like a coat. Just kind of imagine that he's taking the anxiety off and putting it on a chair so that he can get away from that worry. Here's a hot way. I have talked to many spiritualists that think that when they start to get really into psychic reading or into spiritual work, that suddenly their marriage partner or the person they're with just doesn't get it. They begin to feel as if they are uh, butting their head in a wall with the person they live with. So I'm just going to give you some tips on that. Um, as Garrison Keeler, who is a very wonderful storyteller on radio and TV, said that most people that you run into at Walmart or on the streets do not want to hear about your latest accomplishments. They would rather hear about how you helped somebody fix their house, or you're the paint job on your house, or the kid that got busted, rather than suddenly toot your horn. Because for some reason, once you start talking about and praising yourself, especially with people that you know that you see in Walmart or in the store in town on the streets, don't be surprised if they run away. Don't be surprised if they suddenly just say, gotta go. Because you know what? They just want you to be normal. Spirituality with laid back partners is the norm. Not everybody usually ends up on a spiritual path right away when they meet someone. Oftentimes it happens in the midst of their life when they're already with someone. And maybe that is because if you're a spiritual guru, diva, passion person, opposites attract, right? If you're a person that needs to stand out, you need to be with somebody that can give you that stage to stand on. So don't turn around then and start feeling like that person that you is giving you that stage, that is giving you that thunder call that you can make to toot your horn. is suddenly the most boring person that you ever ran into, because they are compassionate enough to give you a space to be able to be who you are. I have known many spiritualists that called me, and they would talk about how they were leaving, had begun to have an affair with, or started to find that the friends that they're hanging out with were much more their cup of tea than the person that they were married or living with. And they leave only to find something very strange happens when you fall in lust or love with somebody that is of equal intensity in the spiritual field. Two people that toot their horns at the same time, two people that want thunder, oftentimes clash, and suddenly you end up face first in the dirt. So I have found that for many people that have come to me because their partners were too incredibly dense, they thought, to be able to absorb their new spirituality. And please understand, I say this with humor. I'm not trying to condemn. That they usually end up back with Uh, Mr. Laid Back or Miss Laid Back, because I truly believe that the norm is not the Clintons. It's more, if you notice, like Bernie Sanders, his wife tends to be somebody that's kind of plain and ordinary and probably puts up with a lot of ramping and raving and passionate talk from Bernie. And there are a lot of passionate glitter people out there in the acting field who, if you take a look, the ones that have marriages that last usually are people that are opposites. So, if you want to be a happy spiritual diva or person in your marriage, remember it's okay if that laid back person is not exactly like you. Learn to be normal. Don't toot your horn and go on and on about the latest accomplishments and the latest book you wrote and the latest things that are exciting about your life and expect that person to be very impressed. They're not going to be, because they love you for who you are. And if they don't share your interest, don't get upset. Just remember that you have found somebody that accepts you exactly for who you are. So, if you find that you're overwhelming them with your anxiety, that things are not exactly on the same level for both of you, chill out. Leave them alone. You'll find that the kindling of that relationship gets back on track if you just do less instead of more. You are blessed. Yes, the TV shows will show us incredible, dynamic, passionate couples that are exactly alike, and that's all fine and dandy for TV and movies. But seldom does it work in real life. Even people like the Clintons probably have learned that they have boundaries and they have personal agendas. And we have learned from our own lives that we have to allow the mechanic that is with the woman that is in the spiritual field and meditates, or the person that is a writer or author that may be with somebody that only has a grade school or high school education. It's okay. Just let it go and be blessed and happy that the person that wasn't exactly like you and allows you to toot your horn is accepting of you. And it's okay. So be happy that you have a laid back person. They're wonderful for people who like to stand out. They allow us that stage to toot our horn. And you can share on the small things in life and be happy. And that's all I have to say about that. I want to say that anybody that called into the show, thank you so much. And I will see you next week. Who knows who's going to be on? I'll probably have a guest, but I'm not going to tell you who it is yet because I'm just going to not go in anxiety about it. I'm just going to chill out, take it off like a coat, and let it happen when it happens. So take care and be happy. Remember, if you have somebody that's grieving and you don't understand why they're taking it so hard, because you don't, or because you have found a way to reach for the light and grow in wisdom, but they feel encompassed in grief and overwhelmment, that's okay. Use your ability to heal. Use your ability to be all you can be on your spiritual path. Need a spiritual reading with me? Call at thecallingoflight.com and schedule a half hour or 15-minute reading with me. Let's discuss your anxiety, your storm, and get some clarity and answers. Okay? See you next week. Bye-bye.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is AchieveRadio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AchieveRadio.
Hi, I'm Anne-Marie Odell at Achieve Radio's Tarot Joy. Come on upstairs. Grab yourself a tapestried pillow and get a down-home, honest reading with 30 years Master Tarot channeling experience. In addition, I will have a weekly spiritual guest from around the world. That's 2 readings per call for you. After the show, I invite you to come on over to thecallingoflight.com. I offer PayPal readings at 15-minute or 30-minute sections of time. All yours. To thecallingoflight.com.